we haven't fought. Imagine that. They gotta lie. They gotta lie. They gotta lie all the time. They can't even believe their own lie. You can't even believe your own lie.
I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Teo his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he like a baby Roy. Like he like doing things with his hands down, flashy.
Too much of it. You know, I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it.
Standing at that press conference, Teo Lopez delivered a savage message to Shakur Stevenson, declaring he's ready to deliver punishment when they step between the ropes. Even though everyone's writing him off as the B-side, he's planning to showcase exactly what he brings to the table. Lopez made it crystal clear that sleeping on him is a dangerous mistake, vowing to put on a clinic that'll silence every doubter about his talent, force, and hunger. The intensity radiating from Lopez ahead of this Stevenson showdown is undeniable. Locked in and supremely confident, he's promising total ring control, determined to showcase his boxing IQ, knockout power, and tactical brilliance. There's zero confusion about Lopez's approach. He's going all in for the victory and plans to make his superiority impossible to ignore.
I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna beat him up.
And we know at one point you contemplated retirement. Seems like you're in a good place now. You're active. Where are you at right now? Where are you feeling about your career?
Lopez isn't about to let Shakur walk away with the championship he bled to capture. He's making sure everyone understands what this title cost him, breaking down how the belt symbolizes countless years of grinding, suffering, and unwavering commitment. This showdown means everything to Lopez, because it's about safeguarding what he constructed through relentless effort and sacrifice. His self-belief runs deeper than the ocean, and he's locked in on protecting his throne inside those ropes. For Lopez, this moment cuts straight to his core, fueled by honor and sweat equity, and he's adamant that nobody can strip away something he claimed through sacrifice, focus, and total dedication.
Of being in the ring,
yes.
Shakur Stevenson, obviously you guys are both in Las Vegas. I'm hearing that you did link up today. A face-off happened between the two of you?
Yeah, face-off happened, things of that nature, just to create the things that are in motion already. So we're really adamant about fighting each other next, and I can't wait for us to really lace it up. And I see him across the ring, and really when that bell rings, lights out for him.
What's it like seeing him now kind of face to face? When you look at him, what do you see? Because obviously you're not locked in just yet, and the closer it gets to a fight, obviously things turn a little bit. But when you do look at Shakur, what do you think of him?
I think I don't think too much of it. You know, I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it. I've bled for this, and I'm not taking nothing from him, but I just believe that what's gonna happen next is for destiny in the boxing ring to decide.
Breaking down this Stevenson versus Lopez war, the expert analysis points to a likely 12-round chess match, with those opening 6 frames potentially deciding everything. Expect Shakur to play it patient early, staying on his bicycle while studying how Lopez wants to operate. Should Lopez capture or clearly edge those initial rounds, it'll force Shakur's hand in the back half, turning up the heat significantly. Lopez thrives when he's ahead on the scorecards, feeding off that early burst and explosive power, but questions remain about his gas tank over the championship distance. Once Shakur realizes he's dropped early rounds, he'll have no choice but to press the action, setting up fireworks down the stretch with those crucial championship frames up for grabs. On the flip side, if Lopez clearly loses those opening rounds, Shakur can coast his way to a comfortable scorecard sweep. This tactical breakdown showcases the mental warfare between both champions, where pacing, stamina conservation, and moment-by-moment execution will determine who leaves with the hardware.
Because I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Teo in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Teo can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because Teo, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, you know, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight? I think if Teo comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does that, then Shakur has to fight in the tail end of that fight, and that'll make it real interesting. If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Teo looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Teo is going to bring anything late in the game, you know what I mean, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, you know, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur, because I've been waiting for Shakur to get into that fight where, you know, he doesn't have the fight where he doesn't have his Diego Corrales fight, you know what I mean, where you think he's actually in danger. Shakur has been he's been outclassing everybody he's in the ring with. You know what I mean? Then the guys that you think could give him some work, like De Los Santos, I know people hate when I bring that fight up, but I want to see him actually in.
Stevenson reveals his motivation stems from an unquenchable competitive fire, always hunting the most dangerous fights available. After studying Lopez's recent work, Stevenson was impressed by his slick, showboat approach, which triggered memories of prime Roy Jones and sparked his desire to measure himself against that caliber of talent. This upcoming war represents the perfect litmus test for his own championship-level skills, while implementing fresh tactical approaches, building on lessons from his earlier battle against William Zepeda. Stevenson acknowledges that fight was unconventional and grueling, but it became priceless for his development, proving he could flourish when the heat got turned up. He discovered that pressure fighters were designed to test his limits, but he successfully neutralized that aggressive style, boosting his self-assurance. Now with Lopez on deck, Stevenson feels perfectly equipped to handle the lightning speed, devastating power, and chaos that comes with facing world-class opposition. His concentration, versatility, and banked experience fuel his belief that he can dissect this fight intelligently, transforming it into the ultimate examination of his boxing ability, mental toughness, and championship readiness.
But bro, what is it about you that has you, looking at a fighter that you know is the truth and then saying, I want to fight him? It seems like it should be normal if you're a fighter, right? But that stuff is dying off in the game right now. And I feel like you one of the last of the dying breed that actually want real challenges.
Yeah, I'm competitive, bro. So it's like, I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Teo his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he like a baby Roy. Like, he like doing things with his hands down, flashy. And I thought it was cool. So it kind of made me want to get in the ring with him and see if he could do them things against my style.
Your last fight was against William Zepeda in July, and you fought a totally different way. It wasn't the easiest way or the best way to fight, but I think it was good for you and your development because it not only sent a message to the rest of the division, one up, your division at that time, and then the one above you, but it sent a message to the fans. But I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles-wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like, guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's gonna have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me, it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy that's trying to like wear me down so much.
Right.
Algieri weighs in on what makes the Stevenson versus Lopez clash so crucial for boxing's landscape, pushing for more battles where elite fighters roll the dice against each other, accepting potential defeats because staying elite is possible even after losses. This fight perfectly captures that mentality, showcasing a masterclass rather than a wild slugfest packed with non-stop leather. The technical mastery and ring intelligence on display will have viewers glued to their seats, prioritizing craft over pure volume. A Stevenson victory would cement his spot in the top pound-for-pound conversation, though many believe he's already earned that respect. Algieri frames this as a throwback to legendary title unifications where the division's best settled scores. He highlights the theater, skill level, and historical weight these matchups carry, drawing parallels to classic confrontations that defined eras, proving that elite-level boxing continues to deliver the same thrills and significance it always has.
Or the health of boxing on this side of the world. You know, listen, there's nothing like the Garden. We've both fought there many times. I fought in the big room. There's nothing like the Garden. Just the vibe, like you said, champ, that's around that. And this fight is deserving to be here. It's that good of a fight. It's that big a fight, and especially like I said, like the health of American boxing. This is one of the best fights that can be made, and putting it in the Garden just makes too much sense.
But the idea of the turmoil, the eyes on it, the spectacle, the circus. Chris, you talked about the idea that Teofimo Lopez kind of lives in this. That's where he flourishes. That's what he loves. This idea that because there's so many eyeballs on it, it's going to be kind of a circus. Does that favor Teofimo a little bit when you look at the strategy? Yes, no?
I'm going to say well, I can't say for certain because there's no certain with Teofimo Lopez. He's one of the most up, down, left, right guys I've ever been around.
Mercurial, we could say. Yes.
But when he is on, he's damn near unbeatable. I mean, he's such a good athlete. He has such a good boxing IQ. He's so physical and explosive. And again, I've said this on past shows. I've called him many times for Top Rank, been around fight weeks. And it just seems to me, the more out of sorts he seems, the more back against the wall it looks like, the more that he's an underdog, the better he performs. And this could be that kind of situation. New York is a tough place, man. They're already gibbering, going back and forth, saying like, you know, he reps Brooklyn, but there's kind of questions about his Brooklyn roots. Can he really rep Brooklyn in the way that he says he can? So he's already getting that heat for that. I don't know. It might be a good thing to poke the bear in terms of how well Teofimo is going to show up.
Paulie, that's a huge. You're from Brooklyn. That's a big insult to say that you're not really from Brooklyn.
Insult him a little bit.
Insult him a little bit. Insult him, man.
But I'll tell you what. There's so many thoughts in my head with this situation because Teofimo is at his most dangerous when he's counted out, and this is going to be one of those fights where
Carrington dissects a critical flaw in Lopez's game plan heading into the Stevenson fight, specifically his struggles against slick movement. While his natural gifts and concussive power are obvious, Lopez tends to struggle when facing opponents who constantly shift angles and maintain perfect distance control. Carrington believes Stevenson's ring composure and tactical boxing IQ could expose this weakness, baiting Lopez into wild swings or missed connections. Through range management and tempo control, Stevenson can dictate the fight's rhythm instead of allowing Lopez to impose his will. Carrington points out that Lopez's biggest strength in explosive combinations and aggressive pocket fighting could backfire against a disciplined, mobile target. Stevenson's defensive awareness and ability to reset between exchanges might wear down Lopez's patience, draining his effectiveness and energy as the rounds pile up. The key for Lopez involves developing better cutting off the ring tactics and showing more patience to solve Stevenson's technical puzzle. This breakdown presents a fight where superior footwork, timing precision, and ring generalship could swing the verdict, demonstrating that pure athleticism might fall short against a supremely disciplined and cerebral opponent.
I feel like Teo is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. You know, he has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? You know, we've seen, you know, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, you know, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, you know, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, you know, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog. And both guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. that play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. Like I don't see, just because southpaw, that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only times that he's able to get hit. You know, only time he's open. So yeah, other than that, bro, it's gonna be a pretty tough night for Teofimo Lopez, but I feel like it's still gonna be an exciting fight.
Russell provides an in-depth breakdown of Lopez's fighting identity, focusing on a specific version rather than painting with broad strokes. He references Lopez's masterpiece against Lomachenko as the blueprint, showcasing how he dominates by blending calculated aggression with emotional control. Russell stresses that Lopez's championship-level performances require staying cool under fire, while maintaining relentless forward pressure, backing opponents into desperate situations while limiting their counterpunching opportunities. This combination of ferocity and discipline creates nightmare matchups, according to Russell, because when Lopez executes his complete game plan, controlling tempo through his physical advantages and capitalizing on perfect timing windows, he can steal rounds and keep world-class fighters constantly defending.
Glad you can come up on that offense. Why? Because you got a strap and you play with him.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I mean, look, like you said, the first thing you said was bluffing McMuffin, right? So you don't think that he's gonna do that. Let's just say that's the case. Let's say he wins this fight, but he doesn't win this fight. Whatever happens.
Right, because you made a statement after he said, "Oh, let's see, I'm gonna go back down to 35." So which one is it, man? He kind of 6'7" with it.
No, there you go.
Come on, which one is it?
So let's talk about 140 then, because obviously there's other champions there. One who you've been going back and forth with recently online, one that you have history with, and you got other guys, Subriel there, somebody else you had history, Richardson Hitchens. What's the route for you going forward after your next fight?
After my next fight, unify. I've always let it be known. I want to be undisputed in my division. I want to unify. Anybody who got a title at the time, that's what I need to see next after my next up-and-coming fight.
Gary, just talk about, obviously your division is hot right now, this fight, your fight coming up. You know, maybe one of the biggest ones in Teofimo versus Shakur. Just looking at that fight stylistically, how does it play out in the ring?
It's 50-50. You know, in order for you to participate in this sport, you got to have a high level of confidence. I feel like both of them has a high level of confidence. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but styles make fights. Naturally, I think Teofimo Lopez is stronger than Shakur. Naturally, I think he has more athleticism than Shakur, and he got a good IQ on the sport itself. But Shakur, I feel like he's a more smarter fighter. He's a more technical fighter. You know, I'm not saying that he's a square or he's just a textbook fighter, but he's seasoned, he's poised. I feel like mentally he's more mature. Like, he don't go outside of the boundaries on taking risks. So
Russell adds that Lopez's explosive finishing power becomes even more dangerous when combined with tactical patience, creating openings for fight-ending shots without exposing himself to return fire. Through the Lomachenko study, Russell demonstrates that Lopez's championship potential isn't just about God-given ability or physical tools, but about intelligent game planning, in-fight adjustments, and laser focus. This analysis proves that a disciplined, strategic Lopez becomes an absolute nightmare matchup at the highest level of professional boxing.
Oh, he's a born fighter. He's a careful fighter. And I feel like with Teofimo Lopez, he's going to be a careful fighter. You know, just because he's a careful fighter doesn't mean that he isn't punctual with how he do things. I think Shakur, he got a lot in this arsenal that he can use to make him be victorious, as well as Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? So it's a 50-50 fight, and it depends on what fighters show up the night of the fight. Right. You know, but if I had to give you my whole honest truth, if Teofimo Lopez show up and is ready to fight just like how he fought Lomachenko,
that wraps up today's breakdown. Catch you next time for more boxing coverage.